This is exactly how you can send 1,000 or more cold emails on autopilot every single day without landing in spam. Step 1, you need some domains. Don't mess around with other domain providers. Everyone in the game is buying their domains primarily from Porkbun. So just go to porkbun.com, pick 50 domains. What you're gonna do is whatever your domain name is, say your name is marketing.com as an example, you're just gonna add little prefixes or suffixes that sound professional, clean, and short. Under 5 characters, keep them professional. You can plug this prompt into ChatGPT. Just copy this and tell it what your domain name is, and it will spit out a list of 50. Then you can go into Porkbun and you can bulk paste those 50 domains, and it will allow you to bulk add them to your cart. So that's step 1, buy domains. Now, a lot of videos from cold email gurus will tell you you need to understand DMARC, DKIM, all of these complicated back-end records and paste them in properly into your email inboxes. That's not what I recommend doing. There are people whose entire business, their entire skill set is based around creating infrastructures for cold email, and they can sell you inboxes from Google and Microsoft for way cheaper than buying them from Microsoft or Google directly. They will serve the function of creating your inboxes for you. And when things inevitably go awry with, you'll have deliverability issues sometimes, or just the natural degradation of inboxes, you want to have a support team there so you're not like clicking around the admin panel of your Google inbox and trying to figure out what's wrong. So use an infrastructure provider. You're going to have them set up 2 inboxes per domain. So say your name is Jack Johnson, you'll have like Jack at Try Marketing and Jack Johnson at Try Marketing. And so you'll see here, this one domain will turn into 2 inboxes because you'll just use first name and then first and last name. Whatever infrastructure provider you're using, they'll have an onboarding sheet for you where it will be very clear what you're supposed to do. I recommend using Scaled Mail is, I think, such a strong bet because their customer support is so good. Zapmail has decent customer support, not quite as good as Scaled Mail, but they have good quality inboxes. I've also been using cheap inboxes. If you don't know what to do, I would just go Scaled Mail. Best support, you'll always be able to talk to a human. They'll put you in a Slack channel. It's like you have a support team on your side. So buy from Porkbun, just get Scaled Mail, and then what you're gonna do is each inbox is gonna send 10 emails per day. You'll hear many people say that you can send more than this. You can send more than this. What I've found though is in a lot of cases, we'll send 7 or 5 emails per inbox. 10 is about the highest I've seen us push where our inboxes will last substantially long. If you push to like 20, 25 emails a day per inbox, like a lot of people say, you might see that your inboxes degrade quite quickly, and then you have to go through this whole process of buying new domains, putting new email accounts on them, going through the warm-up process again. So I would rather have you buy more domains, more inboxes, and have them last longer so you can do it once and forget about it for a while rather than having to go through that process multiple times. Then you're gonna connect your inboxes in step 3 to your sending tool. Again, I gave you 3 different options. My recommendation, if you're starting out and you wanna go fast and have a predictable good solution, use Smart Lead. If you're advanced in the space and you want the best possible deliverability, email Bison. I know Instantly, I don't use them, haven't used them, but I hear good things, and they're also rolling out a lot of cool AI features. So you really can't go wrong with any of these. These are the 2 that I have most experience with and I would put my name behind. Once you upload to these sites, which you will actually, if you're using, the beauty of the infrastructure provider is they will actually connect your inboxes to the platform for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And then once they're connected, actually a lot of infrastructure providers will start the warm-up for you as well. And what warm-up is basically you get put into these pools of inboxes that will send emails to each other for a period of 2 weeks. And that sending ramps up in volume. And what it does is it makes you look human to Gmail and Microsoft. Makes you look like you're behaving like a human, you're sending varied emails, you're getting replies, but it's actually all happening in a warm-up pool. That way, after 2 weeks of this, you can then start sending and not be seen by Google and Microsoft as a spammer. The best practices here, at least 2 weeks. If you can do longer and you're not in a rush, like if you can warm up for a month or 2 months, that's way better. So I highly recommend that. And also if you know, hey, I'm not sure I want to quite do this yet, but I think I might want to do it in the future, and you can spend $100 on inboxes, then I would recommend, or on domains, I would recommend just buying them, because there's some evidence to suggest that having the domains age for a long time increases their reputation. And the reputation of your inboxes actually exists on the domain level. Basically, the longer you can own your domains before you start sending, and the longer you can warm up your inboxes before you start sending, the better. But you can also just buy your domains right away, create the inboxes, and have them warm up for 2 weeks, and you'll be good. Then, while your inbox is warming up, you want to do a couple things. You want to scrape a lead list. So if we're sending 1,000 emails a day, and there are 20 sending days in a month, that means you're going to be sending 20,000 emails a month. Most people think, oh, well, how do I get 20,000 leads to send to? Well, we typically recommend doing a 2-step or max a 3-step sequence, which means 50% to 66% of your sends will actually be follow-ups. So that means you don't need 20,000 leads, you need about a third of that. And what I would recommend is use Apollo. I think if I had to pick one, I would say use Apollo. However, ListKit, you get typically, they're substantially cheaper. Apollo, I think, has, in my experience, a bit broader and better of a database, but I've used ListKit a lot too, and they've worked well as well. So sometimes I can just have trouble finding the amount of leads that I need using the exact same search that I put into Apollo. I might get like 20,000 results on Apollo and might only get like 2,000 to 5,000 on ListKit. And when I say the search, I mean I'm filtering by these main criteria here. So it would be things like employee count, job title, location, keywords that are relevant to that industry, and even relevant tech that the industry, that the prospects in your industry use. Then you'll download the leads. Then you'll run them through a validator, because even though Apollo and ListKit will say like, hey, these are, valid leads, it's like this, people leave companies often, there's a lot of turnover, so you want to put them through, this is like a triple verifier. Then optionally, you can use a tool like Clay to clean up the formatting of the company name if you want to use that as a custom variable in your automated emails. Bonus points, this is a more recent thing that people are doing in the cold email space, I could say over the past couple of years, is scoring their lead lists using AI. So you can, if you have a tool like Clay, they have an AI agent in there that can go through your lead list, and based on the criteria you set, it will score your leads. And that means you could take your list of, say, 6,600 prospects, and you can ask the AI to score them based on how relevant they are to what you're actually looking for. The reason having a super well-crafted lead list is so important is because you're putting a relevant offer in front of the right person. That makes you feel better because you don't feel like you're just spraying and praying. It means you're actually doing a service to that person by giving them the opportunity to say yes to something that's valuable to them. And also, it really helps your deliverability. This is a big thing to help you not land in spam, is that if you're sending to a lot of unqualified people, they're going to be hitting report as spam on your emails more often, which is going to ruin the reputation of your domain over time, and then you'll have to set up all new domains and inboxes, and you won't be getting qualified meetings. So Spend extra time investing in the quality of your list using tools like Clay, or just having someone from your team manually go through the first few pages of leads, and you want to see that at least 80% of the people that are on there are qualified. Then, once you have your lead list, you're going to create your irresistible offer. So we're going a little bit beyond the scope here. This is a little bit more go-to-market consultation that you're getting from me, and this is what we offer to all of our clients, is positioning their offer in a way that actually converts cold traffic. So what that entails are, these have been kind of the staple modern building blocks of creating a good offer. So quantitative value proposition, you want something that quantitatively makes them money, or saves them time, but making them money is always going to be the most powerful. So that would look like, for my offer, hey, if we could put 30 qualified meetings on your calendar this month, etc., 30 qualified meetings on your calendar this month, that gives you a quantitative value proposition, and it also gives a clear time frame, this month, or it could be every month. One of the biggest mistakes you'll see people make is that they're not doing this. They'll just say something like, hey, we have this great system that is revolutionizing, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, what do I get? You have to put yourself in their shoes. They don't know you. They're getting this email from you. It better be concise, juicy, punchy, potent. If it's not, they're going to move on and probably report you as spam. So clear value prop, clear time frame. How long is it going to take for you to get that result for them? Who have you done it for in the past? If you've helped a big brand name, put that in there if you're not under NDA. Even if it's someone they don't recognize, you can say, our clients are typically seeing X result, and that's social proof. It's typically best to put a name in there, but obviously you have to consider if the name is just like some small agency no one's ever heard of. You could just say, like, if you're reaching out to a marketing agency, we just helped this other marketing agency named blah, blah, blah get this result. That kind of shows them, okay, I don't know who that is, but they're a marketing agency, so this is relevant to me. And then a risk reversal, this, you don't necessarily have to have a risk reversal, but the more of these that you have in your offer, the better it will perform. I say you need to have at least 2. So yeah, if you want to have different forms or options of a risk reversal, you could be just performance-based, something that we often do, like a rev share type deal, retainer plus rev share, or pay-per-call. Sometimes we'll do that, plus rev share. Or you could just have a straight up money back guarantee. There are plenty of ways that you can construct different risk reversals, but these are the primary 2, I would say. I wrote this as a bonus, but this is really important to recognize right here, is that some of the best campaigns are when we don't ask straight for a conversation from the prospect, but when we provide them or ask them if they want to see a relevant case study or testimonial or lead magnet. For one of our clients, for example, we had them put together a 1-page document using Gamma, which is what I made this document on. It's like Google Docs powered by AI, and it's free. And they had 6 of their case studies from across different clients, attorneys, financial planners, CPAs, whatever. You know, they had all of their results on that 1 page, and then we ask prospects that we reach out to, hey, we recently put together this 1-pager of CFAs who have gotten X result. Would you be open to seeing that and seeing if it's relevant for you too? And we use that as the CTA on our email, call to action. And that has historically converted way better than just saying, would you be open to having a conversation about this? So try to create that. It's worth your time. It's worth your time to create a 1-pager doc using Gamma or whatever else with relevant case studies. Then you want to turn your offer into the final copy. So that might look like, first name, not sure if you have a need for this right now, but we help X demographic get X result in Y time frame. Recently did this for insert relevant company and got this result. I put together a 1-pager case study showing some results that we've gotten and the exact amount of ROI our clients have seen from it. Would you be interested in checking that out if I sent it over? So it can be as simple as that. And what you want to do is you want to write your copy really conversationally. You want to read it out loud. And then you also want to spin tax, which is where you put different variations of your text in brackets like these. And it will make it so that every email that gets sent out gets sent with a different version. So it might be like, hi Frank, hey Frank, hello Frank. It won't send Frank all three of those, but if you're sending to Susan, Frank, and Cindy, one will say hi Frank, one will say hello Cindy, one will say hey Susan. So that way it looks like you're sending unique emails to each person, and it makes you less likely to end up in spam. What you don't want to do, one of the biggest things that I see my clients do is they come to me initially and they're like, we want to show you this great copy that we wrote. And I'm like, lay it on me. I know it's about to be so bad, but tell me anyway. I don't tell them that part, but it always is. And then they send me the copy that they want to send, and they're like, hey, first name, here at marketing.com, we pride ourselves on having some of the best SDRs in the country. As of late, our SDRs rank blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, let me give you an infomercial about myself. And it makes me want to throw up a little bit. And what I tell them every time, what I'm going to tell you now is the prospect doesn't care about you. They don't care about your accolades or your achievements. They care about what's in it for them. So they need to be able to skim this. They're already pissed off that there's a cold email, most likely, in their email. They're like, oh, okay, another one of these out of the 5 I've received today. And so it's got to be tight. Here's my value prop. Here's how we can do it for you. How fast? This is who we've done it for. Here's a valuable asset. Or are you interested in talking about this? So just make sure, see if you can objectively audit yourself and just make sure you don't sound cliche, like you're a billboard, like you're an ad. Avoid paragraphs. Should just be short one-liners. And that's that. So tracking KPIs, you want to send at least 10,000 emails per month, I would say. Some people say 7.5, some people say 10. In this case, we're gonna do 20 because this is a video about sending 1,000 emails per sending day. So that means that you'd be sending 6,600 people a 3-step sequence. You want to look out for a 1+% reply rate because that will show you that your deliverability is okay, that you're at least landing in the inbox. And ideally you want to see it at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6%, but I'd say average that I've seen is like between 1 and 3. The higher you can get that, the better. But what matters even more is how many of those replies are positive. If you've sent like 4,000 emails or 3,000 emails and you haven't got a single interested reply, I would just pause that campaign and I would change your copy or change your lead list. So you should be getting ideally 1 booked meeting per 1 to 2,000 emails, which will give you about 5 to 10 calls per 10K emails. This would be really healthy. This is really healthy. And another thing you can look out for, again, all of my bonuses are like the most hidden gems right now. And I wrote them as if they're just little optional anecdotes. But if you reply to interested leads that come in within 5 minutes, it increases the chance of them converting to a client by 400%. So that's 4x more likely that they'll become a client by replying to them within the first 5 minutes. So in order to achieve this, I would recommend having an automation set up within Smart Lead or Email by Send or Instantly, where when you get an interested reply, you get an automated message sent to your email or to your Slack or to your phone that says interested reply came in, and have that forward to like your SDR, your inbox manager, and get back to them right away. Call them right away. That's even more powerful if they have their number in their email footer. Call them. If you don't, just email them back and you'll see your booked meeting rate explode. So that is how you do it. If you want any kind of consultation or you want my team to set up this system for you, either on a build and release basis or a monthly ongoing basis to help you scale your company predictably and profitably, then check out the first link in the description and you can book a call with me or someone on my team personally and we'll see if it's a fit. We turn away over 50% of the people on calls, so we will be honest with you if it's not a good fit. You need to have a big target market, ideally 30,000 people or more. You need to be selling a high ticket product so that your LTV is over $30,000. If that's you and you're interested, book a call. If not, I hope you got a lot of value from this anyway, and I will see you in the next video or hopefully on a discovery call. See you soon.